Hello, it's Kent and Renee Miller, and we are here not to teach lessons today. We are going to talk about predictions. And those predictions, previously we were told not to release them because it would change the natural course of events. And now we're being told to start releasing them a little bit at a time. But for the newcomers, and hates this part. We need to just let you know our history in a very brief synopsis to benefit Kent. I was like, oh. He's heard it so many times. At the end of 2006, we met up with an old lost friend of Kent's, and serendipitous, unusual events started happening more than normal. And she recognized that there was a significance to it and investigated into it and came back to us and announced to Kent and I that Kent had this ability through deep meditation to hear spiritual dictation, and that he would be receiving these lessons from ancient information, new information, and that we would be bringing this forward. We were quite skeptical because we were on quite different paths. And after about a month of joking about it, we decided to try it. And Edie was a hypnotherapist and decided we could teach Kent how to meditate. Yeah, he's telling me, shorten it. That she could teach Kent how to meditate through using hypnosis and taking him to a meditative state instead of a hypnotic state. And so that's how we started.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, we received a lot of predictions, mostly 2007 era. And so now we're gonna bring them forward. And I've kind of broken it down into 4 sections.
I was told about a week ago that now we can bring the predictions forward. But up until that point, we were told not to release the predictions to the public. But some of the predictions have already taken place, proven themselves out. So we're going to start with January of 2007, only through the month of January.
And so we're going to follow a format of this is the prediction as it was given to us verbatim. And then we will interject our interpretation, but we want you to understand that in our past history, whenever we've read into the interpretations, we're usually wrong.
Yeah, so we want to put it in a form that you can interpret this yourself.
We encourage you to read it and make your own interpretations and correlate it to not only current events, but past events. Usually we know what that prediction meant after the event occurs.
It fits, yeah. And that's what usually happens with predictions. Predictions are changeable depending on human behavior. There's a lot of things that affects predictions. So predictions aren't set in stone that I've ever seen.
And there is no such thing as time as the way we perceive time. So we are not going to give you time frames because it's all relevant to the flow of events and the flow of energy as they come together. And so first we're going to give you the prediction, then we're going to give you our interpretation, and you can take that with a grain of salt. And then we're going to correlate it with the desired effect, what we have been told that may not be on the paper we're going to flip to. What we've been told is the desired effect of those events. And then lastly, how do you predict?
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch the screen over to the prediction page. Put it up on the screen, and then we'll take it down when we get done with that page. So we started January the 5th of 2007, and you go ahead and read that if you like.
So I'm going to read it to you. We'll alternate. I'm going to let Kent read where he has had visions because he can further clarify that. It says, see the plan of prognostication. That's a prediction. A map of insolence showing the movement of the earth to the right. People will not listen until the seventh quarter.
We haven't figured out what they mean by the seventh quarter yet.
Economy is like a lion, and then it drags its prey across the prairie before it dies. You too shall see the indignation of man come to being.
Well, we might interpret this as the economy that died in 2008. Basically, slow death, and then it was
And
death. And we're thinking it was referring to that.
Contemplate this also is that we were told that the economy would take a hit, and then there would be a window of time where it would recover and people would think that everything has come back, and then it would take another hit. And so in this here, it's telling us that the economy is slowly going to die. And so you can prepare in having some cash on hand and putting any extra money into things that help you to self-sustain.
We'll read on the 12th.
So on January 12th, here is your map. Tilt to the right 5 degrees, then 15 degrees. Twofold, 2 levels. Do not search, it will be shown to the right. And then I'll let Kent describe his vision.
It's showing that the earth is on the axis of approximately 22 and a half, 23 degrees off the center. So in order to balance itself, it's going to have to come back to the right, close to center. And with that, many things are going to happen. So I also received during this period, I was taken into a white room, and there was 4 or 5 men dressed in white robes. The large white desk, and the desk was much longer than it was white. On the desk lay a world map. Everything on the map started shifting to the right, and they said it was going to be twofold. First, a 5-degree shift to the right. It paused for a short time, for approximately a year, then a 15-degree shift to the right. So the pause will take about a year between the 5 and 15 degrees. The second shift will begin what they call the new dimension. Now, I saw this as the shift approximately 10 degrees or 20 degrees to the east and 10 degrees to the south, which they later on told me. But this was concerning because this is a landmass shift after the Earth shifts. And so the landmass shift is going to be shifting along with that second shift. Like the landmass shifts, such as China, Russia, the United States, South America. Those are landmass.
Relative to the axis shift. Okay. And so when they talk about we'll begin the new dimension, and it's not written here, but we have received information in other meditations that we are not physically moving into the 5th dimension.
We're not ready for that. The human race is not ready.
Contrary to a lot of other people saying that we are. That requires a different type of physical body. And that does not mean that this physical body is going to change that much. So while we are going to have genetic upgrades and our body is going to change within a parameter of available variability, we're not going to change that much. We are, however, going to be starting to learn about the information that comes out of the 5th dimension, which is a higher level of information. So we will start with that. And then it takes a physical death and an incarnation for one who is ready to move into the fifth dimension. And that will include incarnating into a different type of physical body. So for most people, not at this time.
The next thing we could look at is I had gotten on the 13th, blue aqua water, behemoth holding waves. And to me, I could see these huge waves coming into the west coast and the east coast of the United States, and somewhat on the southeast. Colorado, a gust with people, meaning to come. Well, Colorado wasn't that many, and now they got a huge population increase in the last, since about 2015, 2014.
Since they passed the recreational marijuana law.
With that, splitting of the divide, this continental divide will open up, will split right down the middle. Will be due to the landmass shift as the Earth corrects itself. What's going to cause that split in the continental divide.
That's our interpretation.
That's our interpretation.
Now, keep in mind that some of these predictions have a symbolic and metaphoric element to them. So weigh that into your interpretation.
Yeah. So, and then I begin to see a lot of tornadoes. I mean, a lot of tornadoes. And then I saw big white tornadoes, which are basically cyclones, which we're not familiar in this part of the United States with cyclones, but they were water spouts. And this is just the beginning.
I'm sorry, a cyclone is a hurricane.
Okay, yeah. Because the water spouts and
yeah.
And Earth will be pushed into a new era when all this takes place. Now, this is in 2018. We didn't know when this was starting. Now we see in 2018. This is beginning. All these different things that I have been getting is now beginning. The amount of earthquakes, the volcanic activity, the water spouts that have been seen in different areas of the United States, just everything is starting to ramp up now and begin to fold into these 2007 predictions.
And earlier this year, we were told now it is going to begin. So we are seeing an uptick in weather events. And so I think that's pretty obvious for everybody.
Yeah. And the next thing is I saw all these rockets going up. Racks and racks of rockets, 5 or 6 missiles to Iraq, going off. Electricity was everywhere. The whole sky was lit up. A couple hours later, in this time period, there was a significant amount of energy, intense energy, and it caused the people to culminate into fighting. Not fighting with weapons, but fighting amongst themselves with words, and caused more missiles. Now, this could have been the Iraq War, or it's something to come. We're not sure where this is in. Something that's already happened or something that's coming.
So I do want to say that in the area where it says a couple hours later, for clarification, that was not in the dictation. That was after the initial dictation, and then a couple hours later, Kent added to that where it starts. There may be significance of energy, like among the people, festering of energy among the people, culminating to fighting and missiles. So he actually got that same day, but 2 different readings.
So on 126, I saw in a vision, it looks somewhat like a Spanish mission. That's how I can explain it. And I saw meteorites hitting this thing that looked like a Spanish church or a Spanish mission. And all the crosses were falling, and the whole thing was being destroyed. And I feel like it was this symbolic of something he was referring to. And it said, it was a strong vision, and it said, help will be on the way.
And so, again, this may be symbolic. We were later told that religion will fall. So the falling of the cross may be relative to religion in general. Now, we do want to clarify that all of this change is meant to reconnect us with the Creator. And so the Creator being God, Allah, whatever name that you want to use, the infinite, this is the Creator of all things. And so through our deepest trials, what do we usually do? But we reach out to God and say, God, help me.
And desperation.
In our desperation. And so what we see here is a rebalancing of the earth. And so the earth has got to rebalance from what we have done to it to cause it to be out of balance. It also has to, or the intent is to get us to understand our relationship with the earth and to correct our understanding of how we interact with the earth. And so in all these changes, our reconnection to the higher self takes place. And through that, the higher self, or which is a part of the soul, it has the direct connection to the Creator. So when we have the reconnection to the higher self or the soul, then it reinstates our connection to the Creator. And that is the desired end effect.
Yeah, so you can see the example if you know of any medicine men or those that are the wise men of any particular native tribe. They will tell you, this is what she got through saying, they connect to the Creator, not the tribe in the whole, but those particular special people like Lewis Crow or Black Elk, etc.
So the indigenous spirituality is really where we need to be. Religions have falsehoods, and there's false teaching, and there's false interpretations. So that would explain why the cross would fall, and other religions as well, because it needs to direct us right back to where the most important focus is God the Creator, not anyone else, God the Creator.
The earth is tuning now. These different sounds coming from the earth is like a tuning fork, and the harmonics are beginning to prevail. In increasing ocean volcanic activity, the fish patterns will begin to change and be mixed up. The tide changes because it will be abnormal, as best as not normal, and there are two. It almost feels in the ocean like there are two separate moons pulling opposite directions on the ocean. Mussels will fall off in the ocean and just die off, but rocks will quiver. The sounds of Earth Mother, the sounds or harmonics that the earth is putting out, and then the water springs will begin to change. So all this is happening. Earth Mother is trembling. The fish will float up out of the ocean, not good. And then I heard the fish say help, but it's volcanic activity. The fish are being really stressed now, not only the overfishing, but the volcanic activity. And the fish will flop up. So the activity of earthquakes and volcanism is going to increase in the oceans, which is going to change the weather.
It changes the weather patterns. So if you have volcanic activity happening in the oceans heat up, that changes the direction of the ocean currents, and it changes the weather patterns. And we see that with El Nino and La Nina, how the temperature of the ocean changes the direction of the air current and the rainfall. And so we're also being told that rain patterns will change. So areas that were traditionally wetter may become drier or more drought
Drought, because I had seen drought.
more subjected to
I
drought.
seen fire and water going out at the same time, and I couldn't figure that out. Now I can see it. The East Coast is basically underwater. The West Coast is huge amounts of fires.
And other areas that were drier and more arid may start to have more rainfall. So now we want to close with, we've already discussed the desired effect. Let me open this back up again here so that we can talk to you.
Okay.
So we have a lot of earth changes happening. Earth is rebalancing. And then what we need to do is just flow with this change. There's nothing that we can do as humans to stop it or to change it. And we need to reconnect with the earth and focus on reconnecting to our higher self, our soul, who we are at our most natural essence. And then think about how to prepare. So there will be a period of time when food may be in shortage due to these earth changes. So you want to have a way of getting clean water, and you want to have access to seeds so that you can plant your own food, and you want to have food stores.
And look around you, see what can be edible in plants or different items around the area where you live, the environment. And then see, okay, where is there water? Do you have a type of water that filters out all the bacteria? Or do you need clean water? Find out what type of water sources are around you, including springs.
And water barrels, rain barrels, those sort of things.
That won't only last a while. You're going to have to figure out where to get water from another source and to filter it, or boil it, etc.
So do your homework. And the object here is not to create fear. The object is to let you know what is going on, why it's happening, and how to prepare so that you don't go into a state of fear.
Yeah, if you're prepared, it's like a hurricane coming. If you're prepared for that hurricane, you have all the materials that you need to survive it. You will let it come, because you cannot stop what Mother Nature creates. So let it come. I know what I'm going to do. You have a plan, and you don't have fear then. If you have nothing, you don't have a plan, then fear comes in and it blocks your ability to do almost anything.
And it creates a lot of chaos. So that way, when we plan ahead and we prepare, we can control the chaos, and we can control certain events related to the earth changes. So we urge you to visit our website, and we have a blog that discusses a lot of the lessons that are in the book that we have had published. And that book is called The Augmentation of Man, A Study in Renaissance. The website is verdiance.com. That's V as in Victor, E-R, D as in dog, I-A-N-C as in cat, E. And that's an N, not an M, .com. We also have Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook. We have YouTube channel at Renee and Kent Miller. And then we have a Twitter at Verdiance. So
and the
follow
blogs,
us on that.
yeah, the blogs are generalized information about the book and about living, where we are on this earth. What part of the puzzle do we have to play? What part of the drama? And
But it also goes into, it connects the dots. This book is a introduction to conceptual learning, which is the next cycle that we're moving into, and it's a learning cycle. The conceptual learning is the ability to connect multiple dots to form a bigger picture of understanding, and it connects the dots between our spirituality, science, math, astronomy, all those various topics, and brings a complete understanding of how they all relate to one
for
another.
those that like a challenge,
Get the
challenge and
book.
learning, those that like the challenge, you can actually get the book at Amazon. That's about the best place right now. But it creates a challenge, but you have to use the blog and the videos and the glossary at the end of every chapter. When you begin to understand it, you'll go, or whatever you say.
It is meant to deliver a profound understanding, but in layers. So it's meant to be reread, and each time you read it, you will understand it in a new and different way until you have your final epiphany, and then you realize what a deep understanding you have.
You don't read it the first time and understand it all. No one has ever done this that I know of. So,
Including ourselves.
Yeah, including ourselves. You take your time, read those passages which make sense to you, and we put it in the original language so you can interpret at your leisure, and then go back later on, maybe months, could be a year, and read the ones you didn't understand. By then you have an understanding of why you didn't understand. But anyhow,
if you're really looking for a deep spiritual
deep understanding of humanity,
understanding of God and creation, this book is for you.
Yeah.
And you can start with the blog on our website and then read that, and then go to the corresponding pages, and you will see that it does help give you jump starting
there are several
understanding.
blogs that you can refer to. But anyhow, great challenging to you. We hope you enjoy.
Blessed be your spiritual path, and we hope you have a good week. Thank you for joining us.